Okay. I don't like I hit myself in the face. I know me changing and stuff like that. I don't know how do I sound? I sound the same.
Sound great.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us wherever you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
the taser.
The unofficial sport,
bullet
ball extreme. And don't forget, also leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like those. We love those. We need those. Okay, our ego needs to boost. We need to feel special and great. And like this relationship is a two-way street.
Yes, we need to feel loved. And I see about them talking about it in the chat room. Mark your calendar for, is it September the 9th?
Oh, see, this is what happens with Karen.
I be winging it.
These are things you can just say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do with no plan. Then I'm supposed to just come in and back it up and be like, oh, I have this information on deck. So the live show that we're supposed to do at Blumenthal Center for Performing Arts, it is supposed to be on September the 9th at 3 p.m. The tickets are not on sale yet. So just mark your calendars that's a day you need to have open if you'd like to be at a live show and meet us in person and stuff. Yeah, that's Karen going rogue, everybody. Let's go ahead and get into like the show and stuff. There's lots of stuff to talk about. I don't even know where to start. I do know where to start. We can start with some LGBTQ news.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to cruise. Show me what's cool. Riding Karen, baby. LGBTQ news.
Trying to take us down when we're still around. Trying to feel the shine when we on the ride. But you can't do what we got to do. Blackout Tips.
LGBTQ news.
Woo, woo. All right, let's talk about LGBTQ news. The first story, they're mostly bad stories, but the first story, LGBTQ conservatives say they feel misled by Ron DeSantis.
Oxymoron, are you surprised?
They said he misled them.
No, he
after
didn't.
The GOP presidential hopefuls' war room shared a bizarre video widely seen as inflammatory. The video bashed former President Donald Trump's support for the LGBTQ community and leaned into conservative state policies passed under DeSantis this year that were criticized as anti-LGBTQ. LGBTQ conservatives reacting to the video said DeSantis has shown his true colors as an anti-LGBT champion. Oh, now he's showing his true colors? Undermining his arguments that his support for the policies were about protecting children and parents' rights.
Why do they always fall for that? Are people that naive? They go, well, it's only going to be the children. No, it's everybody. We'll start with the kids.
I think you fall
and then we go up.
I think they fall for it because they want to.
Correct. It don't make sense. Everything he stands for is anti-you. And you get over there, you be like, oh, he anti-me. Yes, bitch. That's what everybody told your ass.
Yeah, I think, if you want the white supremacy part of it, the tax cuts or whatever it is that you want so bad that you look past not just someone else's plight, you look past your own plight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times whiteness is such an intoxicating idea and drug and concept.
It's a hell of a drug.
That people will be like, no, my whiteness will protect me. Yeah, I'm gay, but I'm still white. I'm still, whatever. I'm white passing. I'm whatever. I'm white adjacent. I'm somewhere in proximity that I feel like I'll be protected. But when somebody pass a law, they pass a law for all of us.
Come on.
And so if they start saying, I think they get people, and I mean, we've said this so many times. I mean, honestly, this segment is just, I get it can be redundant, and I try not to be, but this was definitely one of those, like, okay, they started with the shit that was like, we're just mad about immigrants, or we're just mad about black people. We're just
and everybody ignore them as long as they quote unquote do for their thing.
Yeah, and You look around and suddenly in the GOP party and you realize it's the purge and your ass is on the menu and you've been on the menu the whole time. You just thought that somehow you could outlast it.
Right, which don't make sense. Yeah. It's like, unless you're a white Christian male that's straight, you're on the menu. What about that? Don't people understand?
And why don't you, like, how are you not embarrassed? Because I would be too embarrassed to go on national TV, or if, you know, The Hill in this case gave me a phone call and I'm a Michigan-based libertarian journalist, Brad Palumbo in this case. He's like, it's like he's going mask off. The cat's out of the bag. He said he'd have considered voting for DeSantis at one time. How you not embarrassed? I wouldn't tell nobody that shit ever. Because I know people been telling you the whole time this motherfucker is a low-key bigot, or high-key, as I like to say. And you was like, no, I'm a libertarian. I mean, you know, we're libertarian, basically Republican that smokes weed.
Right.
And it's like, I'm a libertarian. And so, you know, listen, Ron is just about this, and this. And then finally, it's like he makes it so nakedly impossible to avoid what he's on. So you be like, okay, yeah, he's a bigot. You got me. I wouldn't show up for that interview. My phone, I let them motherfuckers go to voicemail. I wouldn't tell y'all I was that stupid. Y'all don't need to know. It's between me and my God.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things where, because of whiteness and the proximity of whiteness, they're doing that so that white people can feel bad for them.
Right.
Yeah, because it ain't towards the other groups that he's been targeting. Actually, you're still telling me you don't give a fuck about the other groups, because if you did, you would have been enraged.
Yes, exactly. It's like, how can the consequences of my actions be coming back to haunt me?
Right.
I'm somebody who has my fair share of policy disagreements with DeSantis, but I was considering voting for him in the primary before he entered the race officially. Since then, he's done thing after thing that really makes me increasingly write off that possibility. I guarantee you the other person he was considered is Trump. Like, it's not like he was like, it was either DeSantis or Biden, and I guess I got to go to Biden. Like, it's like, I guarantee you don't disagree that much.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, you know, these motherfuckers coming on and talking about how they each feel duped and
right.
betrayed.
And this is the thing that really, really irritates me about this country. Everything is centered around white people's feelings, even gays, white gays. Like, there's no other gays that actually live in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That's marginalized, that when they pass these laws, that actually is like a double whammy. I get smacked for my race, for my gender, for my sexuality, and then I turn around, I get smacked for something else too, you know. And so for me, this is the one thing that irritates me. And this right here is the same thing that they do around when it gets closer to like voting, particularly for president. They want to go to these middle of Timbuktu nowhere places and ask these people how they feel and, you know, why they feel. Don't nobody give a fuck about them people. Don't nobody care about their white feelings.
Yeah, I think the other thing that stands out for me is that you got these folks that they like Ron DeSantis the most, and Ron DeSantis is already second. Like you're doing all this for a man who has no charisma and can't beat Trump anyway. Like, not on his own merits. Like, he's a candidate that he might end up beating Trump because Trump is being actively indicted. Like, it's like I'm not like, if they had their druthers and everything was even, this dude is gonna get boat raced. And it tells you something about your fucking candidate, your policies, what you believe in. Like, you sold out for the dude that's not even gonna win. That's crazy.
Not even gonna
He
win.
Not even gonna win, and you already bending over backwards for this dude.
Who knows if once they start all them caucuses and shit, if he's even gonna be in the run and how long he gonna last.
Yeah, so the attack ad on Trump showed a clip of Trump from 2016 at the RNC saying, "I'm gonna do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens." And of course, Ron DeSantis jumped on that because here's a chance to show that I'm different than Trump. Mm-hmm. Not that Trump ever really protected any LGBTQ citizens, but
right.
Here's a chance to say on the record, I will attack them. I'm going to be even way harder on these gays. And people are like, wait a minute. The story you told me was it's not about people being gay. It's not about attacking anybody. It's about protecting the kids. Now you're just distancing yourself from Trump, but you're not bringing up kids or any of this. You're just basically saying, I don't like gay people.
Right. And the thing is, they'd rather be duped and the shit still happen anyway than for you to just tell them up front. Because Trump's going to do the bullshit anyway, because that's what the base wants. He just ain't telling you. You're going to look around and all your rights going to be gone. But you rather you, and that's what kills me about a lot of people. Maybe because I'm older or just conscious. Just tell me the fuck what you mean and let me decide from there. You ain't got to sugarcoat anything. You got to worry about my feelings. Tell me what the fuck you mean, so there won't be no tricks.
But you can also tell that they know they fucked up, because the account that put it up took this video down, and it was a pro DeSantis account. Like, it was like something Elephant US, Proud Elephant US. So it was a pro Republican DeSantis Twitter account, and it went so bad they took the shit down. Because they fucked up. You're never supposed to give away the game. Mm-hmm. You know, that was the thing about Trump, is that he just lied to you. Everybody know what he wants to do, but he gave a certain type of person enough plausible deniability that it could be like, nah, he said he's going to do this. And you're like, that there's nothing about that man that says he would do that. Well, he said it. And you're like, but he lies all the time. But it gives me a way for me to, if I'm supporting him, it gives me a way to support him, because I just choose to believe the lie every time. I'm as shocked as you. I mean, he did say it. He was trying. I don't know what happened. You're like, okay, that's what's happening here.
Yeah, and the thing that kills me about the Democrats, the other side, is they will say stuff without being as blunt, kind of like Trump, even though they're quote unquote not lying. They'll just be like, well, we're going to do this, or we're going to call it this, and we're not going to flat say what it is. And niggas be like, that's not enough. Niggas be like, why are you lying to me? Why didn't you quote unquote tell me the truth? Because they know how white people are. Certain things, if you just flat say what it is, you're going to have pushback, and they understand that, and they want to get shit done. But the other side is like, lie to me, lie. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to vote for you anyway.
Well, I don't even think it's about lie to me. I don't think they feel lied to. I think this is the rare exception that we're talking about today, where a group of Republicans felt lied to. I think the vast majority of them understand he's lying and don't care.
Right.
You know, like I said, to me, that's where I think us as Democratic voters could use some of that. You know, I don't need you to have a divisive slogan about the police. If you're gonna get in office and move the funding around so that the police are funded less,
it ain't got to be catchy.
Then I don't care if you marched or you held up the sign. I like the work you do, not this is not a fan club. It's a movement.
I
think the Republicans understand that implicitly. Like, this is not a fan club, it's a movement. So yeah, I'm a Christian evangelical and I don't believe this, that, and the other. And no, I don't care that you paid for 8 abortions. No, I don't care you're accused of sexual assault. No, I don't care that you are on the record as cheating on your wife. I don't care, because I know you're lying, and the lies are not what's getting me to vote for you. The real truth is you're going to enact the white supremacist things I believe.
Correct.
And that is the only thing that matters to me. How you do it, don't care. And I think that's what's happening. And I think DeSantis is trying to do a Trump thing. He just gave away the game by being honest and saying it actually was about hating LGBTQ people. Think about this, if he puts this same ad out, but he doesn't say it's about LGBT people, I'm gonna be harder on LGBTQ people. If instead he changes the wording to, I'm gonna protect our kids, and keeps everything else about policy the same, these people that are upset with him would have kept fucking with him. And and ultimately, in my heart of hearts, I still believe they still gonna vote for him.
Yes, they are.
So I don't even trust their outrage.
So what you hollering and crying and wailing about? Yeah,
I don't see these people as like victims. I just feel like you're like it's ironically, it's like that Dave Chappelle joke where like you were in on the heist and you just didn't like your cut. You know?
Yeah, you didn't like your cut.
Christian Baker's case sent back to the lower court in light of the anti-LGBTQ Supreme Court ruling. So we had that Supreme Court ruling where they made it legal to say as an artist, you don't have to take on clients that are gay. So like there was a, we talked about it on the show, but this is a quick recap. A woman made up a fake everything. There was nobody asking her to do shit. She said, what if I had a website building business and some gay people asked me to build them a gay wedding website, even though I can't produce the gay people that supposedly asked me this.
Right.
They took this shit to the Supreme motherfucking court
based off of nothing.
On a hypothetical, and she won. Because that's what those fucking needle dick Republicans have been waiting to do, is to rule on this shit and be like, And so because of that ruling saying you don't have to, essentially gay people's rights are not protected under the Constitution, essentially what they're saying.
Right.
Because if you would have said anything else, if you said, I don't believe in interracial marriage, and they would have said, no, you absolutely not. You got to serve those people.
But trust, that's on the table.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm just saying, if they would have said that, those Republicans, they carved out in their language like, well, that's different. The same thing they do with with affirmative action. Oh, the military, well, that's different. Like there's no rhyme or reason other than we have the power to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And so my point being, this person won on this hypothetical. Well, if y'all remember the Christian baker who didn't want to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple, and ended up losing or stalling out at the Supreme Court level, now this case may come back.
Bitch, what?
Right. And this court has been ruling for a minute now, especially during the pandemic. Religious freedom, aka the right to discriminate, they're ruling on the side of the right to discriminate. Like it's, hey, if your religion says you don't got to take the vaccine, even though we can't find a single fucking thing because vaccines weren't invented, so we can't find a single fucking thing in your Bible that says don't take the vaccine. But you tell us that that's a religious belief, we're gonna rule in your favor.
Yeah, unless you better be Christian. Now these other religions will
right. I haven't
veto against that shit.
I haven't seen any Muslim cases go to the Supreme Court, but who knows, right? But yeah, anyway, so the point being, this shit may come back and we may have some even more loss of rights for LGBTQ people. Yeah. You can have a public serving business and you can discriminate against gay people. I know there's people that think that's somehow just like, well, at least they know. I'm telling you, that's not a good precedent. It's as silly as thinking it was better for America when racist people could be like, no, you can't sit at the Woolworth counter. And and I know there's some people out there that think like I don't think they truly have the vision to completely live in the context of what I'm saying, like to completely live up to their word and go, segregation was good and it was better for us and I like it. I hope it comes back. They think that they believe that, but they don't. They either are not very intellectual, well-read, or they just really don't have the imagination. They just like to grandstand, right? But you hear that sometimes from people. Mm-hmm. My point being, when they say that kind of shit, they'll then go, well, at least you knew who everybody was. And if they didn't like you, they just didn't like you. That's not good.
No, it is not.
That's not a good thing. We can't just leave everyone up to the whims of, if a motherfucking racist somehow got the job, they just get to decide for everybody that they not doing shit. That's crazy. And I don't think people understand the fucking chaos that can represent the people, right, and just the whims of it. We talk all the times about shit where like a person gets a prescribed like birth control from their doctor, and just some random fucking pharmacist that might be the only pharmacist in the town can tell some woman no.
Right.
And it's like, what's it based on? I'm just religious and I don't want to do it. We can't allow that kind of autonomy for people at work when it comes to discrimination. This is not practicing your religion. This is you failing to do the fucking job. You can't just say shit like that and be like, well, fuck them. If they die, they died. Like that's what bothers me about it. And I'm not even going to do the slippery slope argument. Everyone knows the slippery slope argument. I'm saying even if it stopped right here and we were guaranteed nobody else's rights, but just gay people in same-sex relationships would be the ones affected, it still would be fucking wrong.
Right. is still fucked up.
So it is, yeah. So this case gonna come back. All this shit is coming back because the Supreme Court is like, fly us out. We open for business. Italy, that's not America.
Mm-mm.
Italy began stripping lesbian mothers of their parental rights.
What?
Yep. In conjunction with its crackdown on the rights of same-sex parents, the Italian government has begun retroactively stripping same-sex parents of their legal connection to their children.
So what are they gonna do? Just come and take the kids? So now y'all gonna have a bunch of kids with no parents? Y'all gonna just flood the system with kids?
Michaela Leedy told the Daily Mail, that's not the source for this, that's I'm on LGBTQ Nation, but whatever, that she cried for 10 days after receiving a letter informing her that she would be removed from her daughter's birth certificate. It was as if I did not exist. Her and her wife, Viola, are reportedly one of the first 3 lesbian couples to have their children's birth certificates changed after the country's right-wing movement announced in March that the state agencies should no longer register the children of same-sex couples. This isn't just an American problem. The retroactiveness, the let's slide back, everything's cool, let's just chill out, and then the other part of the country is like, that's not cool. We want to make Italy great again. And now you're fucked, man. So yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that's really fucked up because now you're gonna be devastating families. And I don't know how their stuff goes, but you're gonna probably affect life insurance policies. Yeah. Now you're gonna affect schooling. Now, it's more shit to that. Now it's legal rights. My child gets sick, all of a sudden I might not be able to go in there and see him. It's a lot of shit that goes on behind you just wiping somebody's name off the paper.
And how does this help the kid?
Right. It's fuck them kids. That's what you're saying. But every time y'all talk around, y'all talk about we doing it for the kids. You don't care about the kids.
Because
it's stupid.
Same-sex civil unions have been legal in the country since 2016. Shit, that's behind us. That's way behind. Same-sex couples do not have the right to adopt, thanks in part to opposition from the Catholic Church, because they can't mind their business. They're like, listen, if you're gonna adopt these kids, who gonna get to fuck them? We not. And the worst thing we see coming in the fucking church is when we see parental guardians. And of course they against that.
And what's so fucked up about this is that we even read an article where LGBTQ couples, you know who they go get? Children with disabilities. They get a lot of black and brown kids. Like they get kids that most people, they get older children. They get the ones that the average straight couple, though, we don't want
that all the Christians who claim they're gonna adopt all the kids, the ones they reject, the ones they leave at the orphanage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's fucking ridiculous, man. But that just tells you it's not about the kids.
No,
it's about punishing gay people, making examples of them. Republican attorney generals demand that the Biden administration allow them to keep access to out-of-state medical records.
Bitch, why?
Well, let me tell you, ma'am. It's because they want to enforce their draconian anti-abortion laws. And part of the enforcement, they're passing laws that they can't enforce. Stuff like, if you go to another state and get an abortion and come back, we're going to throw you in jail. Well, how the fuck can they know that? Because if I'm in another state, it ain't your business. And according to the way the Supreme Court low key punted on it, because they rolled back the federal protections, but then they set this up to the states. But then the states being like, we're gonna punish you for stuff. Well, if I go to a state where it's legal, it ain't your goddamn business. Mm-mm. And the only way you can punish me is if you know I did it and you get proof and you get records. Well, where are you gonna get that from? You would get it from the state I went to. But guess what? The state I went to, if they're doing abortions, they ain't Republican. And they definitely ain't supporting your ass and sending you a goddamn thing. So now Republicans do want some federal oversight when it comes to women's right to choose. And the oversight they want is tell us they had an abortion so we can put them in jail when they get back home. Yep. Attorney generals of 19 states sent a letter to Biden demanding access to the private medical records of citizens who cross state lines to access abortion services or gender affirming care.
And this is one of the things where I know I sound like a broken record,
Mm-hmm.
but bitch,
Well,
fuck you.
break it down.
Yeah,
Then.
fuck you if you look me in my face and tell me voting don't matter. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
you. Like 100% suck my dick. Because it does not make sense. How dare you tell me voting don't matter? How dare you tell me that these things from 2016 didn't matter? How dare you look me in my face, talk about what about her emails? How dare you look me in my face talking about my vote or what? You know.
And also like all voting is local. So like this isn't just because what happens is that when you say voting, most people just think president. It just is what it is. Most people don't even fucking vote in the off-cycle elections.
Which is the most important ones.
What Republicans realize is that those are the most important ones.
Yes.
And so they never stop voting local. And so now your state is asking for your personal medical records, even if you leave the state, because they want that absolute power and control over your body. It's really wild. But
basically, so they say you pregnant, you're gonna have that baby. We don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing I'm saying though. Right now, we have an administration in office that was gonna tell these people to go fuck themselves.
Right.
What are we doing next November? What are we doing next November? Because it's that close. It's that close. If it was not a Democrat president right now, if it wasn't, they would say yes. And every woman that went to, or every person who went to another state to get an abortion would probably be going to jail when they got home to their red state.
Regardless of why they did it.
Yeah. Regardless, because some of these draconian laws won't even allow for like medical procedures to save a pregnant person's life. So I think we know where this is going. You know. All right. Let's move on to some other news. We'll play some of this transition music. And we'll do some regular ass news. All right, let's talk about it. My girl NoName is in the news.
What happened? What's up?
First of all, when is the last time NoName's been in the news for some music?
It's been a while.
Just some pure,
it's
just
been
like
a while since I heard her name. Period.
We living in the age of the woman hip hop artist. Okay. So many, the girls are doing so well, you can't even keep up. It's so many.
It is hard to keep up.
It's so fucking many. New one popping up every day. You got the two new girls that be running through everything. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. I'm about to send again. I'll be like, where did they come from?
Okay, I'm like, no.
And I listen to the new music. And even I was like, who it was? Well, we losing control. It's so many, and I love it. I love that I can listen to like Flo Milli and Libra Jolie. I love that shit.
It's probably a bop if I hear it.
I love that shit. I love that there's so fucking many. But NoName, typically we only hear about her Twitter stuff. You know, she had one song where she dissed J. Cole, and then I think people, I mean, I've been saying it on the show the whole time. Like, this is definitely one of those Rod was right moments. But I've always been like, people don't really support her, because when it comes time to just listen to her music, go buy her music, go to her concerts, black people ain't doing it. On Twitter, it's easy. You retweet somebody, that don't mean shit. People at Universal Fan Con thought they had 10 million tickets sold, because Twitter make you feel like we'll do it. And then when it's time to sell some tickets, Twitter be like, man, I gotta leave my house. Tweeting is easy. I'm just on my phone on the toilet. You talking about catching a plane. So NoName struggles with the music side, but we never really, never get to hear it. And I, of all the people, am probably the listen to most NoName music out this bitch.
You wouldn't be?
I listen to it because it's like a mellow, kind of laid back music, and I like it. And I don't have an issue with her music at all, but I think she's kind of youngish and got caught up being hyper online. And so, you know, and then she did a lot of virtue signaling and shaming all these other artists and stuff. And then it's like, okay, everybody has a day. This is the fan base you're courting. Well, today, the motherfucking day. So, NoName has a new song coming out. It's got Jay Electronica on it.
Okay.
And now she's threatening to withhold her own upcoming album because she don't like the criticism she got from her own upcoming fans. I call them upcoming fans because a lot of these niggas didn't buy no records yet. In a series of tweets,
they won't.
That's what you said. In a series of tweets she dropped on Friday, July 14th, the Song 33 artist hit back at critics who dared to take her to task for Balloons, which features the controversial rapper Jay Electronica, and is scheduled to drop July 21st. Niggas legit rap about actual murder and sexual assault that they commit in real life, and y'all can't take a Jay Elect verse, she wrote in one tweet. Please drink water and be safe out here. Praying hands emoji. I'll see y'all when my album drops in a few weeks. Sending love and prayers.
Oh, okay. That should have been the end.
Later she wrote, well, it wasn't the end, Karen. That's why we're here. I think she deleted her account. Then later she wrote, please drink water. Wait, hold on. Please drink water and be safe out here. Praying hands emoji. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. And then later she wrote, been seeing a lot of critiques about my choice to include Jay on my song. If you disagree with his political and religious beliefs, that's fine. But to compare him to Hitler, a man responsible for the extermination of millions, is wild as fuck to me. It's truly not that deep. Now it's not that deep. Everything she done up to this point, it's been that deep. Like when other artists tried to be like, it ain't that deep, she was like, no, it's that deep. When it was J. Cole, it was that deep. When it was Talib Kweli, it was that deep. It was, we coming after you. There's nothing you can say. Bad faith everywhere, right? So then she said, oh, the song for show coming out, LOL. The album is another story. I'm good on the selective outrage. Not her saying selective outrage. Anyways, hip hop is in a great place right now. Another NoName album ain't really necessary. Okay, that's kind of a self-own, but
I'm about to say, do you want to be an artist or what? Like,
Karen,
like, because everything you're doing is anti-making money. Like, I don't comprehend what you're doing.
You know what? That is a great point. Do you want to be an artist? Because she's talked about how much she didn't like performing her songs because they're very personal, they're very black, very pro-black. And she didn't like, she had put a screed on Twitter a long time ago about how she didn't like how it was mostly white people showing up to her shows. And when people was like, well, maybe people just only got a certain amount of money, maybe like the people just didn't want to come to, like they went to a different show or something. But she was like, if they can go to Lil Boosie show, they could go to my show. So they're choosing not to spend the money to go to my shows because they go to other people's shows.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to look at who, when I perform. And the thing is, once you make art, you can't control who likes it. Okay, period. And also, it's one of those things, too, to where, I hate to be like this, if niggas fuck with your music, they would show up.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where we can fuck with your music and still streaming and all that stuff. But also, you and Boosie ain't actually targeting the same audience.
Right.
So it's like,
that's what people were saying.
Comparing the two don't make sense.
Well, you're saying a lot of stuff that people were saying, but I think, one, we're speculating. We don't know this person on a personal level. So this is a pure speculation on my part. It could be totally different. But to me, it feels like, one, you make art, you make it for black people. You want black people to show up. It's like if we had a live show and the audience was 80% white. I'm not saying I would be like, man, what my, like, I would be like, oh, that's the audience. I don't care. I didn't know that, So I can see that there's a feeling of disconnection. I think also, once again, speculating, that's where the overcompensation on Twitter comes into, because what I think Black Twitter is and was for a lot of people is this connection in a space that is virtual when you are not getting so much connection in a space that is physical. And in this case, I'm not saying NoName, black woman from Chicago, doesn't have black people in her space. That's not what I'm
Right.
saying. What I'm saying is a certain type of black person. It's easier to find them online. It's easier for them to support you online because they don't have to leave the house. They don't even have to get off their phone.
And you're not requiring them to do anything extra.
And so you can find something there. And she kind of like almost overcorrected to the like, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and they're black, and I'm black, y'all. And so she started going in all the other black people and what they doing wrong, how they ain't shit. And now it's your turn because you cultivated this online audience of black folks that are very, other black people ain't shit. If you ain't perfect, fuck you. You got to do everything the right way all the time, every time. You cultivated that. And I remember saying when we talked about her a long time ago, it was like, she just sounds young.
Yeah.
I think all young people on the internet kind of do the same shit. And I don't mean she's like 21 or whatever, but like, I was 30 something still doing this kind of shit and being like, oh, why am I so miserable all the time? It's like, because I'm out here courting miserable people and being in miserable company like misery motherfucking do.
Right. And it's also one of those things where, particularly online, and particularly we're going to talk about break it small to Twitter, it is a small percentage of the black population that's hyperactive and very loud. They do not represent the populace. And so a lot of times they'll have people thinking things that's not the reality of when they step outside and when they get off their phones.
And they traffic in bad faith interpretations of people. And she was one of the main people that did that, by the way. So it's kind of some chickens coming home to roost shit, because she could have let people slide, but she was like talking shit about Kendrick and J. Cole, people that we know care about black folks, that care about the community. Maybe they not perfect, but you don't doubt their heart. Like, you're not sitting around like, oh, these motherfuckers. And she's like calling motherfuckers capitalist, and everybody that don't agree with her is the worst type of nigga in the world. And I was literally talking to somebody today about this, and I'm like, my life has been better, and I refuse to let motherfuckers drag me into this shit. My life has been better since I just started giving a lot of black people the benefit of the fucking doubt. And people in general, for the record, not just only black people, but especially black people. Because I feel like if your heart is in the right place, maybe we won't get there at the same time. Maybe we won't have the same trip. Maybe there's going to be some areas we disagree. But what I'm fucking done doing is being like, this 3% of things we disagree on, that's all you are to me. Right. You know, like, especially when it's not rooted in like some form of bigotry. It's just like, no, I think, I think we shouldn't do this way, and I think we should do it this. Like, if someone said, I think we should boycott HBO Max, and I go, yeah, I don't think you have to. I'm not gonna be like, this motherfucker think I gotta boycott HBO Max. Fuck this nigga. I'm gonna be like, no, they just want to try a different tactic. Maybe they'll get enough people and they'll figure something out that I can't. I don't know.
Right. And just my personality, online and offline, I put like this: unless you do something or say something to show me something, then I'll respond to that accordingly. But I'm like you, because my life is I got too much shit to do to be concerned just, unless you show me otherwise.
What I find is that the kind of person that truly you need to look out for, because they're like this very surreptitious, insidious type of person, they typically do enough shit where you are like, oh yeah, that motherfucker right there has a lot of bad shit going on. I don't fuck with them.
And everybody sees it.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of people that like, they look for it. They need it. They're waiting for the one thing that this person does to jump in their shit. So the couple of things I noticed when we were going through the NoName shit the first time was, one, the internet support shit isn't real.
No.
And it is fickle. It'll flip on your ass in a second. And they threw her under the bus. All the shit she's ever said to please these niggas, and I absolutely believe that's what was happening. Everything she said to look great online to this group of people has gone out the window because she made one collaboration with an artist they didn't fuck with. And I'm not saying they're wrong for not fucking with the artist, but you would like to think you don't just go, fuck this girl, she ain't shit. You would like to think that you go, oh, maybe she made a mistake, or maybe she doesn't know, or maybe she has a different point of view, but she'll come back to this. We'll call her in gently. No, they threw her in the fucking trash because these people aren't really supporting you. This is the thing I'm talking about with social media all the time. When you start living for social media and living for the whims of these people are not good people. Collectively, they're not good people. Individually, they might be straight, but collectively, it's very much about just pylons and movements and whims and fitting into the in group. And if that means we're harassing the person today that we had their back yesterday, then that's just what the fuck it's got to be, because this is how we're entertaining ourselves for the next few hours.
Yep.
And they don't care about these
people's the machine.
They don't care about these people's well-being. They don't care about their humanity. It's all content to them. And so this shit was content. Her tweeting, because they engage with her tweets more than her songs. The songs ain't fucking out yet. They don't even know what the nigga said. But they're already engaging in like, oh, you got to perform for us now. So she made these tweets. And then the other stuff she tweeted was, my nigga, it's rap. It's a rap. You know how many niggas compare themselves to anything for a punchline? Because someone brought up, well, how about the fact that Jay Electronica calls himself J-Dolph Spittler, the rap Hitler, in one of his songs. And she was like, oh, it's a rap. He just comparing himself. Like, it's just a punchline. Are y'all being for real? Y'all about to hate my album. I make some comparisons myself. A couple similes and whatnot. Shit, wow. So she's reducing it like she doesn't know. Meanwhile, if that would have been a line Kendrick would have said 3 years ago, she would have been telling us he just told us his real shit is about being Hitler. But since this is her capitalism, this is her chance to make that money. Now that shit don't matter. And that's the wild part. You can't keep up your own image because you built it on some bullshit. No one could. And I think a lot of that shit just be jealousy. I'm mad that Kendrick got a pipeline straight to the black community. I'm mad that J. Cole is seen as a conscious black man, especially with some of his points of views and shit. I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's that simple, because she was trying to say J. Cole doesn't do nothing for the community. And you're like, that's not true.
Not true at all.
You don't have to like him. You don't even have to agree with it.
But
it's not true. Sir, you're talking to a woman who is, oh wait, let me see what the quote tweet is. Someone said, ma'am, I get it. But he also adores Farrakhan and avidly supports his views. I personally still fuck with his shit, but downplaying the optics because similes is being obtuse. Imagine if a white rapper said, I'm King Leopold to these rappers. You let it slide? She replied, sir, you're talking to a woman rapper who's a fan of hip hop. So many rappers rap about raping women, like really graphic detailed verses about raping women. I still manage with my tiny brain to understand that raps are indeed raps, whether I like them all or not. This is completely 180 from what she was saying before. Like, she was going in on niggas for they raps. It was not just raps then. Wait till y'all find out some of my cousins and uncles is Nation of Islam, and I love them too, like with my whole heart. Nation of Islam be fucking the woke people online up. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like Farrakhan, it really fuck them up, because like they shit on a lot of people, and they talk about like, if you do blank, you ain't really an ally, and how can you kick it with this and do this? And then a photo op with Farrakhan come up, all up in the video, all up in the picture. If that would have been some white person taking a picture with some white bigot, we'd be like, I knew this motherfucker I told you the whole time. But Farrakhan, somehow we decided to give him a pass and claim him at the same time, but admonish anyone else who has any links to somebody we don't like. I don't get it. Okay, this shit is blowing me now. I have my critiques of the NOI myself, but bro, what? Nazis were murdering people. Maybe I personally did a song with Jay Elect to alienate my white fans. Maybe I did it because he's my favorite rapper. Because I'm black and got bigger fish to fry. I don't know. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, they don't like the comparison to the Nazis, because this is what people always do with the Nation of Islam. They'll be like, well, they don't have any real power. It's like, first of all, power is very power depends on the context. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a gay person and you're Muslim, they do have some power over your life if that's your community. So you can't say that just because they can't start a war like the Germans doesn't mean that they're suddenly harmless. Right. And also, like, just because the bigotry is not big enough doesn't necessarily mean that it has no impact or that it's now okay. You know, and if that was the case, then why don't you spread that to everything? You can't be like Dave Chappelle is the reason trans people get beat up, but 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 black people who are homophobic in a religious context are not. That doesn't even make sense. So you're trying to have it both ways, and in this case, it's sad because it's so nakedly transparent that it's just, here's my career rap move. This is my money make. This is how I make my money. Hey guys, cut the morals off for a second. It's time for mama to cash a check. You know, because any other time it was everybody else's fault. They got to have their morals 100% all the time. He says, now, do I need to respond to negativity? No, but when I occasionally do, it's because I'm human and that's okay, which is, she's just talking to herself. Speaking of Jay Electronica's controversy isn't entirely unearned. Back in 2020, came to Nick Cannon's defense when the multi-hyphenate made remarks that were deemed anti-Semitic when he called a renowned rabbi a coward and a devil, according to OK Player. Then back in January of last year, he sparked more controversy when he got a tattoo in honor of the controversial Nation of Islam leader, Minister Farrakhan, on his face. The work of the London-based tattoo artist Olivier Tattoo. The tattoo features the name Farrakhan in script font and sits above Jay Electronica's left eyebrow. The New Orleans native posted a close-up of his face tat on Instagram, and soundtrack by his and Westside Gunn's Hitler Wears Hermes. I think it's Hermes. Hitler Wears Hermes 8 Side B Collection Free Cutter. As my sweet mother would say, well, son, fuck him. Jay Electronica wrote as a caption. So yeah, then they go into Mr. Farrakhan's homophobic stuff, getting banned from Facebook and Instagram, shit like that. So yeah, this is just one of those things where I think she got caught up being hyper online, and the chickens always come home to roost. You cannot trust these online people. Are not a real audience or fan base. Because I think it's a very human thing. Like, obviously it's karma because you were not allowing for other people to be human. Right. You were coming down on everybody like they need to be perfect.
Particularly if you cater towards a certain type of audience.
Yeah. But okay, that happened. You also created an audience that doesn't allow for that. Because the way you act is the way your audience picks up on how to act too.
Of course.
It's the reason the Blackout Tip has the best fans in all of podcasting. Because they're reflecting the way we engage with content, with people, with each other. If this is a podcast where we got on here and argued and disrespected each other, our audience would do the same.
Yes.
If this is a podcast where every episode we had to have a thing to be upset with somebody about, our audience will be that. You reflect that. You know what I mean? If we were beefing with other podcasts all the time, our audience will reflect that, you know? And in her case, the audience she cultivated online is one that just has no leeway for people's humanity.
No, they don't.
And so they're not having any for her, because at the end of the day, technically she didn't even do shit. You know, like, she kind of I think she low-key kind of confessed to some shit with this whole, like, my best friends in the Nation is like, okay, I don't know what you're trying to prove at this point, but she didn't even really do shit. They're tagging his shit onto her, like, how could you even work with him? You know, well, she could have just put the link out, not replied to anybody, and moved the fuck on.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
all the time.
You know who she should have mirrored? Kendrick. Because she talked all that shit about Kendrick. Kendrick hasn't said a word to this day.
So it can be done.
What do you say? Rich nigga broke phone? Like, he just, like, all right, fry me then. You're not going to catch me on a bad day on Twitter trying to engage with these niggas. They just going to have to not like the things I be saying. And see you next album. Maybe you'll understand it then, maybe you won't. That's the only job I got, is to make the album.
That's it.
But yeah. She also said, one of the biggest mistakes I believe we made in our struggle towards liberation in this country is allowing white America unfiltered access to our entire culture. White America has created an institution of violent policing and medical neglect that is killing us every fucking day. And every day we get on their platforms, TikTok, Twitter, etc., we create trends, music, art, and language that they turn into billions. I guess she said this on social media. Like I said, she's
be off topic.
She's human. Okay. She's human.
Okay.
After pointing out that she believes social media is sometimes manipulated by law enforcement officials, NoName called out the apathetic attitude white consumers seem to have when it comes to music about the plight of living or the struggle to make it out. I mean, them the ones that come to your concert though. So, you know, they fucking with something they hearing, you know. But this is the thing I'll say, and I said this the whole time, and I mean it the whole time. At the end of the day, man, I'm more concerned about like her as a fucking person. I don't like. I like her music, but if she really did need to not put her album out and shit because she can't handle the fact that the fan base she has, the interaction she has online is kind of a toxic environment. It's a positive toxic environment, meaning like it's still toxic, but they think they're heroes or whatever. I can see not putting the album out, man. Like it seems like it's more stressed than anything, you know? And or maybe this is that thing that happens, you know, a lot of people have these come to Jesus moment. You get quote unquote canceled, and then all of a sudden you start making a whole lot of fucking sense. Because it's like once you get,
we've seen a lot of people be on the other side of the drag. Because the thing about dragging is whether or not you like it or not. It's either dragging or harassment, depending on what side of it you fall on. And I know me and you have been online long enough where we've seen people start things, get big, get dragged, and then they were never the same, which means they started separating themselves. They started changing things around them. They started getting more positive. Like we've seen that. They started reflecting more. They started having more common sense. And for the biggest part of them, you know, a lot of them start cutting their time off online and doing shit offline and talking about shit offline and not sharing as much of themselves online, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It has to be a balance. And people need to find out what their balance is, because the thing is, nobody knows what their limit is until you cross that limit. And nobody knows what their threshold is till you cross the threshold. And once you cross the threshold, you be like, okay, I've had enough. But it has to be crossed before you know it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And it's why some of my favorite content is by people that have been on both sides of that part of the culture. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to attack people for not being liberal or woke enough, or, you know, I'm virtue signaling that I'm better than them, and wherever that comes from. Because I think a lot of that impulse to dim someone else's light comes from a type of jealousy that is buried deep down in people. I don't even know that they're aware of it, but it's like, why do you have the reach that I would like to have? You know what I would do if I had your reach? I would do this. And it's like, well, you don't have that. You have what you have. Just handle your business.
That's what
it really shouldn't matter what this person is doing, because the people that listen to you. People that listen to them, and there ain't shit you can do about it. There's nothing bad you can say about them that will get those people to truly go, oh, I'm going to listen to you out of a good place. So that's a major thing for to me, is like even when she was going on Kendrick and J. Cole, I was like, she just wishes she had that pull and that connect. She thinks if she had that, it would solve everything. It won't, but that's what she thinks, you know.
Because the internal struggles don't change just because your situation changes.
Yeah, so, you know, I really do hope that she'll be all right, because I hadn't heard much from her in a while, but it's all just because she hasn't said much. Like it's not because of music shit, it's just she hasn't said much. So and I just, you know, this cycle is coming, and this is why my favorite content is people that's been canceled, because you did all the attacking, you got attacked, and now you actually have perspective, because now you know how it feels. And all those people, now I'm like, oh yeah, put that in my veins. Like, I'll go listen to a YouTube person that got canceled. I love that. I listen to podcasts after someone get canceled. I love it. I'm like, yes, because now they're like, fuck, I was doing that to people, and I see how fucked up it was. A lot of times they don't have full self-awareness, like of like seeing the through line of like, I shouldn't have been doing this shit, but a lot of times they do, and I like to hear that.
And I remember this been years ago when we had did the podcast in Seattle. And one of the dudes, he was a podcaster. I don't remember his name, but he was like on one of like a big, huge podcast. It was a white dude. And he was talking about social media. And he was basically talking about how the human mind isn't designed for all this input. It's income. It's like overwhelming. You know, if I'm not mistaken, he talked about, you know, being dragged and interacting with people and things like that. And I just thought at that time I understood, but then I didn't understand. I understood because at the time, a lot of the shit he was talking about was kind of fairly new for the internet. And so it's one of those things where, like you say, his perspective was different because he had, quote unquote, been on the other side of hundreds, possibly thousands of people at him and coming at him. So your perspective changed. You have more understanding for people in humanity, and you're less likely to, not that you won't get in their shit, but you're less likely to be as hard and as harsh as somebody that has never been on the receiving end of a dragon on social media, because it's real easy and it's fun to pick up the torches and say, burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them, when you feel like you never have a chance of being on the stake.
Well, also, if you're a person that participates in that shit, you think the internet is more powerful than it is on social media, and it really will haunt you. You know, like one of the things disconnecting from those type of movements and stuff, and one of the reasons I feel like our podcast sounds unique, one of the reasons I feel like sometimes people can't really relate to some of the stuff we're saying, or they just, is when you're in that matrix, we are the ones who sound crazy to be it really ain't that big a deal. And a lot of times just people be wrong because a mass group of people is just very rarely right. It is what it is. We have a lot of time of human history we can look back on and see what I'm talking about. But
yes.
The point being, like, a lot of times I may err too much on the side of like, man, give a nigga a chance. It's no reason to be that mean or that down on somebody. But it keeps me sane. But it also teaches me, like, or shows those are the values I want in life. And I think those are the values a lot of us would be better off having if, instead of like our immediate, like, we need to get this person out of here, if we were able to be like, maybe this person is making a mistake and they'll learn from it, and that's gonna be okay. Like,
it's gonna be okay,
because I think
the world,
because if you're a fan of hers and a genuine fan,
right?
To me, it seems like she's probably making a mistake, and it'll be all right. But if you attack this person, they probably are gonna get defensive, and it probably is gonna get worse. And she seemed to be the kind of person that, because she's been the boogeyman, she believed in the boogeyman. But the lesson that should have been learned the first time was, you see how Kendrick didn't even respond or care? And he's doing just fucking fine? That. Because you don't got to respond. These niggas be mad, hey, I got a song with Jay Electronica coming out. Fuck you, bitch. All right, well, let me log off. No need to see all this shit. I'll let you know when the song drops. Like, it's no need to engage these people. You're not going to change their mind. And they're getting content out of you performing this upsetness and this anger with them. And at the end of the day, the thing you don't realize is they don't fucking matter. They're not buying your albums. They're not really supporting you in the first place. They're not showing up to the concert. Why the fuck are they important? Why are they keeping you up at night? Why is it bothering you? Why, if these are things that, because she ended up deleting her account and stuff, which, could be her taking that lesson, or it could be they got to me so bad. But a lot of times it's kind of good to go through like the time on the internet where people are coming at your neck, only so you can come out on the other side like, I'm alive, and that whatever.
Yeah, it causes people to prioritize, and I've said this before and I say it again. People want it both ways, because they talk shit about you if you say something. They talk shit about you if you don't. Everybody won't know your business, but yet they tell you why you tell them your business. And all out of the same mouth for a lot of people.
Look at that girl who got kidnapped, allegedly or whatever. I don't know all the rules and all the details. That's why we ain't really talking about it. But wait, you have no idea what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. I have no idea how that's possible. The black woman that she saw a baby on the side of the road, supposedly got out of her car, got abducted, was missing for like 48 hours. It was on all the news, all the things.
How the hell I been? No.
Well, she's back home. She showed up at her front doorstep. They haven't talked to her, like the police or anything. She's getting a medical evaluation. Her family says she got kidnapped and was fighting for her life for 48 hours, blah, blah, blah. My point being, on like Saturday, everybody in the fucking world was throwing up a prayer. She actually did somehow make it home. Instead of people being like, hallelujah, it was a miracle, they're like, how? Like, you just showed up? Like, Bitch, you lying. Jussie Smollett memes, all this shit. My point being, that's why you can't let the internet be a real place.
Mm-mm.
You just can't, because it's too fickle, and you would think if, like, two things. You would think, one, we're gonna find out. That's what the fucking
eventually
it'll take time, but that's what the fucking job is. Police got a job to do. If it's some bullshit, just like Jussie Smollett, ain't no need to be first. You know, it's not like you get an extra prize for being like, I never believed her.
You don't.
You know? But then the second part of it is, if she's telling the truth, how are you, I prayed for her, blah, blah, blah. How are you helping now mentally with the anguish for her and her family when your first thing is suspicion?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a human reaction you would have in real life. Like,
right.
if someone I knew and loved went missing for 48 hours, or not even if I knew him, if a friend had a family member that went missing, I only know the friend, I don't know the person missing, and I show up to, let's say it was Justin, I show up to Justin's house to support him, like, oh, your wife went missing for 48 hours. You know what I'm not gonna fucking say? And not any motherfucker in person's gonna say, man, I think she might be lying. Would you think she was out there fucking around on you? Like, you're not gonna say that, because you're a fucking human with empathy. You're gonna sit right in that person's space, and if you think that shit, you're gonna keep it to your motherfucking self the way you supposed to, and hope that that's not what happened, and figure out, we'll find out one day, if at all, and you go the fuck back home, because it really was never your business in the first place. That's what the fuck is supposed to happen. But with it being Twitter, social media, these aren't real people to us.
Right.
Their stories, their content. So then we're saying shit like, ha ha ha, Jussie Smollett. We don't know anything. We don't know enough to have anything but questions. Even if everything happened the way she said it happened, or the way we were told it happened, we don't have anything but questions. That's it. There's nothing to discuss here but getting mad at each other.
And that's fine. And it's also one of the things to where, how can I say this? Online posting is currency. Like currency. Attention is currency. So for a lot of them, they like, I wasted all my time tweeting and talking about you for 2 days and your ass showed up. Like, for a lot of them, they might not say this, but they was like, nothing tragic happened, so now all my content gone. So I'm turning around, I'm getting angry at you because you literally gave me nothing else to talk about. Right. Like that, like that's literally why I feel, not everybody, but a lot of people are responding like that, because like you said, that's not a realistic response.
Right. So I just, like I said, it's just, this is the environment that so many people are trying to navigate, and you're looking around and it's like, is this a thing we're even supposed to be doing? Are these a group of people where we want to please, that are edifying our life? Because a lot of cases, it just feels like it's a slippery downhill slope the whole way, and a lot of these people they'll throw you under the bus so quick. So yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting story. Mm-hmm. Let's move into some other news. We've been talking for a while. Maybe we'll do some fucking with black people. I think that would be cool. There we go. All right. Ebro. He is a, I guess, radio personality, Hot 97.
Okay.
Talks about hip hop. No one seems.
New York.
Yeah, New York, Hot 97. It's interesting because, like, it doesn't seem like people think Ebro is black, but I also don't know.
Oh, I don't know what his race is.
Well, I know you don't know. You don't even know who he is until I just said him. But if you put in is Ebro, it auto-populates with white.
So somebody been Googling that and then like, is he?
Yeah, I don't know his race. Okay, born to a black American father and a white Jewish mother in Berkeley, California. So I think that counts as black. Those are the rules. That's what I hear. So I'm gonna say he's black. But every time some shit come up where he talking about hip hop and race, I just see everyone on Twitter asking, is he even black? So I like I said, I don't know how he identifies all that shit, but I just the slavery one drop rule has never done me wrong. Okay,
that's what I said.
Listen, white folks was in their bag. They was in a brown paper bag test that day.
Yes, they were.
When they came up with that shit. Okay. But yeah, Ebro Darden recently called out Drake for never saying anything about black issues following Drake's diss towards Childish Gambino song This Is America during his performance at the It's All a Blur tour. On July 12th, Hot 97's Ebro Darden discussed how Drake never speaks about black issues while conversing with Nadeska Alexis and Low Key on Apple Music's Rap Life review series. In the clip, which can be seen below, the three hosts. Oh, so it can be seen below?
You go to a cemetery.
Oh, wait, this is 7 minutes. Wait, is this the clip? Well, it won't be seen below. It can be seen below. The three hosts of the series spoke about Drake's shade towards Childish Gambino 2018 single during Drizzy's set at the All a Blur tour at Chicago's United Center. By the 1923 market of video, Ebro Darden expressed that Drake has yet to take a stand for justice. Oh, okay. All right, let's see. It told me the minute mark.
That was a shot.
So let me get to the 19-minute mark. See if this maybe helps. Let's see.
We never, because you might not like the song. You might not think the song is well written or whatever. But it was important at the time, and it made people feel something about social commentary. And obviously, I'm biased because I like when an artist can do that. I don't know how I feel about Drake, who has never shown up. And y'all know I'm the biggest Drake fan on this show. Drake has never shown up to have anything to say about anything going on in society.
All right, first of all, hold up. This is my first time really looking at Ebro. Y'all didn't think this dude was black? He looked black to me. Maybe I'm tripping, but
He like a light
light-skinned black man.
Yeah, same complexion.
Maybe it's that New York shit where people be like, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. And you like, nigga, the melanin is telling the truth. Don't lie to yourself. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, but then the second thing is, I love we come full circle. We really came full circle on that single. I remember controversial, This Is America, all the fucking...
I still rock that song till
today.
That is a motherfucking bop. And my thing about that song, fuck what they said, all the depiction, all that stuff, I was like, that nigga knew what he was talking about, and a lot of the shit he was doing fucking came to goddamn pass. And people were angry. They was up in their fucking feelings. They was like, this is not America. I was like, bitch, yes it is. I play that fucking song. I love that goddamn song. I was like, yes.
Prescient as fuck, black genius. I loved it. Still love it. Play it all the time.
Statement.
Sometimes I'll see some fucked up shit and I'll just respond with that meme and everybody fucking retweets it. What a fucking tour de force that video was.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, what a moment. But yeah, so it's funny that that we've come full circle to where like Ebro's like, you can't This Is America. Cause I just remember it was a time where motherfuckers were trying to spin that it was somehow not the hit that it was, you know?
Society with black folks or anything other than himself. So now you having an issue. I get you having an issue with Childish Gambino if what you're saying is fact. But fam, the song was supposed to be a joke diss. It didn't actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you in your feelings about it and taking shots at a song?
It was like 5 years late. Like, this song came out, what, 18, 19?
Yeah, but I think the Childish Gambino interview just happened a few months ago. So it's still relevant in that
because he addressed it right
But
now.
I don't know. It didn't actually happen. Nothing actually happened.
Right.
All right, so sounds like that's the gist of it. Here's the only issue, though. Drake has posted on social media and stuff about, like, he has a post about Alton Sterling that's definitely about black people and the police in America and stuff. I didn't even Google to see how many more, like if he did like Trayvon and other people. So he has said stuff, but I don't think he's ever said anything in his music.
Right.
Like, he doesn't rap about it.
I'm about to say, yeah.
He would never make a This Is America.
No. That's not his lane.
I know he ain't from here, but he wouldn't make a This Is Canada either. Y'all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't his lane. That ain't what he do.
And that's fine because everybody don't rap about the same shit.
Right. I didn't hear what his diss was to Donald Glover, so I'll have to look that up. But you know, that's whatever to me.
Mm-hmm.
But how fucked with are you by, you know, this conversation?
Zero. Actually, I don't care. Like, I hate to be like this. Drake is Drake. You know, I love Childish Gambino. And my thing is you're getting mad at an artist who you feel like don't talk about issues, but no artist is obligated. I truly feel like this real freedom is the artist just making their shit and not talking about social issues.
Right.
People don't want to believe this, but we don't demand this for white people. You know, so it's one of those things where if white people talk about shit, we go, good for you, but we don't have a demand on them. It's not an ultimatum. It's not, you not black if you don't address these issues. And we're all trying our best to navigate this fucked up thing, this fucked up world with all these supremacies and isms and schisms happening. Sometimes people just want to do their art, and they might feel a certain way and they might have opinions. And some people, because truth be told, when you do that shit, depending on what you do, it's a cost. And everybody is not willing to pay that cost. And everybody don't want to pay that cost. Everybody like, why should I fuck up my money? Because you feel like I should be obligated to speak up against these things.
Yeah, I think for me, the part like, and I just read, okay, so the full context is Childish Gambino said This Is America has started off as a Drake diss song because they were going to make, you know, he's from Canada, they were going to be like, this is America, ha, ha. But then he said he kept listening to the beat and stuff. He was like, nah, actually, let me play with this and see if I can come up with something better. And so they never made the Drake diss song. So I guess Drake's shot back or whatever is like he's shooting back at the idea of something that never happened. But maybe he felt like he had to address it, whatever. But that being said, I'm with you in that I'm not really fucked with by the idea that Drake owes us some commentary. I think I'm not really sure why people think they want that stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I can think of people that I would like to shut the fuck up.
Right, because when they start speaking and they say the wrong shit, everybody got these. No, sometimes some people just need to shut the fuck up and do their art.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying people that I think are bad people. It's just like, hey, I'd like to just enjoy your raps, but you keep doing shit like meeting with Governor Kemp.
Right.
And it's so fucking distracting to me that it's hard for me to just push it away out of my head and be like, nah, this album is banging. I can do it most of the time, but it's different. It's the same shit happening with NoName, where it's just like, maybe everybody doesn't need to put every political thought out there for everybody all the time. The other thing too is, look at some of the people that did kind of get pushed into it and mature into like talking about these issues. Y'all don't like them either.
Right.
Like I brought this up about Jay-Z, and that's why I was having a conversation with this person today. But I brought up like, yeah, how many people, like I remember when Jay-Z got clowned. They say he doesn't do anything for black people. He's not an activist. He doesn't care. He doesn't do anything for causes. Harry Belafonte called him out. Many people echo Harry Belafonte and came to Harry Belafonte's side of this. Like, yeah, Jay-Z, you should be doing something for black people. You do owe us some commentaries and some music and stuff. And Jay-Z at the time had shrugged it off like, man, my presence is charity. Like, when I show up at things, people know I don't need to like be seen donating to charity and stuff. He thought he was like above it. And he eventually said he actually regrets saying that to Harry Belafonte. And probably because his feelings was hurt the way he got called out and shit. But ever since then, that motherfucker's been 10 toes down to some fucking activism. Whether it be all the fucking Rock Nation lawsuits that are constantly going against every form of discrimination, imprisonment, whether it be the Khalif Browder documentary, whether it be the Trayvon Martin documentary, whether it be bailing out Black Lives Matter activists and putting his network to work for, and by Black Lives Matter, I mean the movement, not the org.
Correct.
Like he wasn't like, oh, let me get down with this org. It was the people getting locked up. How do me and Beyonce get them out of jail? Period. Right. So this is a dude that seems to be 10 toes down. But what do we ever talk about with Jay-Z? For most of y'all, not me, but for most of y'all, the 3% of shit you don't agree with him about. Oh, this black capitalist. Oh, he working with the NFL. Yeah, he got the NFL to give money to a bail fund that wants to get rid of all forms of social control. The most radical shit you can think of. But you don't care. You care that one of the orgs said, if you want to cut your hair off, you will cut your hair off for you. If that's how you symbolize getting a fresh start. And what went viral? A video of a white lady cutting a black boy's hair and went, see? This what Jay-Z want us to do. It's a thankless job in the first fucking place.
That's why a lot of people don't want to do it.
It's a thankless job. I don't like, even people that are full-time activists. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. These motherfuckers are not worth saving if they just gonna turn on you every fucking day. Like every day someone is accusing you of being the worst kind of person. Every day in public.
And you're not supposed to benefit from
right,
it. You're
man.
supposed to live in poverty.
Ain't enough money in the motherfucking world. But anyway, that's just me. Thank God there are people that are better than me. But the point being, like, Drake, we don't know his politics, and it's probably for the fucking best.
Right.
There is nothing about Drake that makes me think we need his voice in the black activism space, black movement. I don't know why anybody would ever think that. He got hella woman problems, class issues, all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. His music doesn't reflect any of those values. It's like you just want a puppet. And I just don't get why people want that. So it's 0 for me. I don't care that Drake doesn't do that shit. Even though it's not true that he didn't say anything. Because like I said, you can pull up that post. It's right there. All right, let's do another one. See how fucked what you feel for this one.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. It's a video. This is actually a TikTok, not an article.
Okay.
All right.
A black person in my chair not too long ago called me the N-word.
Now, for those at home that can't see the video, this is a white man dressed in like what do they call that? Scrubs. Yes. I only know him from the way IG models wear them. Okay. But he's wearing scrubs and talking directly to the camera. So that is the context.
More specifically, he called me his N-word. You my N-word. Never happened to me before. Never had a black person, definitely not at work, for sure. I don't think any time in my entire life has that ever happened. At the same time, puts his hand out like this. You my N-word. Puts his hand out, and then my hand goes into his. So imagine one of these hands is black. And then the hands come together. It felt like a sonic boom was created. This warmth entered my body. And I felt like we solved racism.
What?
Just right then and there. Like, it was like everything's okay. We are cool AF. We're good. That's what it felt like. What did I do for him? I rushed his crown. So crowns normally are a 10-day turnaround, and he was traveling and had some commitments. Like, I got to have that sooner. And I was like, let me make a phone call. Have it back to you in 3 days. You my, boom, hand clasp, sonic boom, racism solved. So now I'm his ride or die. And I don't think he knows that. So black people, you want a ride or die white person, call him your N-word. It comes at a cost. It comes at a cost. Because now I'm not going to say the N-word. But I'm thinking about it. I shouldn't even be thinking about that. But I am thinking about it. And I know I shouldn't.
Oh, no!
But it's like you get into a club that you're never going to get into normally. But someone vouches for you, so you're in there. Now, you're in the club, but that doesn't mean you can act like a fool.
What's wild to me is like his government name is on his TikTok is Dr. Brady Smith. Just feel like a should have kept it to yourself. Why? Like, I already have an issue with medical professionals having TikToks in the first place.
Yes!
I feel like he's doing this TikTok in the office, in the closet, and it's another person that also need their crown done. But he was like, I got to tell TikTok about this N-word shit. I can't just get back to working on these crowns.
Yeah, and not to get off topic, but a lot of these professional medical organizations gonna have to write down rules about social media, because somebody's gonna get their fucking pants sued off for putting somebody's
The scrubs,
business
the scrubs will suit off.
online.
They're gonna get their scrubs suit off.
Mm-hmm. They gonna wish they
Yeah.
had some scrubs.
And honestly, this ain't as fucked up as this topic is. This isn't nearly as infuriating as I'd be if I was under fucking anesthesia and my nurse was twerking on me. You know, I've seen those ones too.
In the club, you can't do that. You'll get kicked out of the club, never invited back. So I'm in the club, and I'm so excited, like I just don't know if I can behave myself. So that's the cost. But man, does it feel good. It might be the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Definitely in my career. For sure. Oh, you're a fellow for the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry? Oh, that's a nice certificate. Have you ever had a black person call you their N-word? No?
It made us it
Keep-
small.
It made what?
His video small and made us big.
Oh, okay. I didn't change that. It just did that on its own, guys. All right. I'll try to share it again then. Give me 1 second, everybody.
No problem.
All right.
Working. Keep working hard. You'll get there. Trust me. Just keep working hard. It's the pinnacle of accomplishment. I don't even care about anything else. That's all I want. I want that more. What's the only thing better than having that happen once? Have it happen twice. So I think that means I have to rush crowns for all my black patients.
Oh no!
Is that racist? I don't care. I'm chasing that feeling. I'm solving racism one rushed crown at a time.
There you go, Dr. Brady Smith. Karen, 0 to 100. All right, Karen needs a second, everybody.
I'm gonna get this a 25 is funny, but I'm a little fucked with because this is something that happened with like a real live patient, a real live person. And if they're on any kind of social media, they're gonna see you focusing and trending, and somebody be like, somebody like, ain't that your doctor, dentist, or whatever?
So for me, I really don't have that big an issue with Dr. Brady. Okay, like if I'm being 100% honest with y'all, this is how I assume white people feel on the inside when black people say, "You my nigga." At least the cool white people. This is how they feel on the inside. So that part is not shocking at all and not very impressive at all, but also doesn't bother me at all. I am fucked with by the black person that's just giving out these nigga passes to these white folks for just shit like this. You know what I'm saying? I understand rushing the crown is a big deal. That doesn't make them your nigga. Your nigga is like if you give me a kidney. You know what I mean? Like if a motherfucker give me some bone marrow, that's my nigga. Y'all just giving it out.
You are literally a part of me now.
You giving it out for people changing your oil in less than half an hour, bro. Yo, you are lowering the bar. The price of the brick is going down because of you. Okay, we are suffering from Nigflation right now because y'all are just
the price of the nigga dollar went down.
Y'all just giving it away, dog. You give it. Come on, make them earn it, man. Come on, I bet he still charged you.
And you know he did.
If I went to check out and they said, "Don't worry, your crown is on me," that's my nigga. I'm not giving you, oh, it was 7 days instead of 10. Man, go ahead. Appreciate you doing your job, but go ahead. That's not a my nigga moment. So I feel like that black person is reckless and going around giving people my niggas for everything. Let me get 10 on pump 7, my nigga. Like, stop. Stop. You're just giving it away. Okay.
Raise the nigga standards.
Yeah, that's Pretty Smart said they not afraid of us no more. It's not about them being afraid. I don't want the fear. I just feel like my nigga is the highest compliment. You know, that's why I understand, but I don't truly relate to black people that's like, don't say the N-word around me, because I'm like, you know I mean it different, and you don't want to be a part of this. And it's sad that you don't want to be a part of this. I get that you don't want to be a part of this. I'm not going to make you be a part of this. I would never disrespect you.
And I respect you.
But it's sad that me saying my nigga would hurt you somehow when you know I mean it in the most like I love you. We have been through the same shit. We are brothers. We are sisters. We are family. Even if I don't even know you, I know you. That's what it means. I'm code switching. I'm dropping everything. Fuck it. We can talk like we talk now. And it's not about white people and what they think. And white people being racist, they came up with the N-word. So they being racist. There's no action.
They invented it.
There's no action black people are taking that is promoting white people to continue to be racist. The default is going to be racism for the kind of white person that listens to a rap song and goes, they said the N-word. Well, they were going to be racist anyway, y'all. Let's stop making they shit about us.
Let's stop pretending.
They love it. But man, I just feel like you can't hit not the N-word, dog. Not for this. So it just feel like a waste of an N-word. So the black person in this scenario, they get 100. Okay. To me, they feel like when I used to have white friends, I was a terrible black friend. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the black friend. I'm a good friend, but I'm a bad black friend. Because I don't have the leeway that a lot of the black friends learn to have. And I know because I ran into some professional the black friends and I always felt like a little bit of like outcast. I was like, fuck, I'm not good at this. The white people. I'm
not trying to be good.
The white people bring up some Republican politics and they know how to navigate it without starting a fight. I don't know how to do it.
All right. And you fall out with them.
Every single time I'm like, man, you shut your racist ass up. And then I know they be thinking like, why don't we hang out with this guy? I'm bad at it, but I've met the black friends that are good at it, and occasionally they be letting white people say the N-word around them. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a joke, whether they quote in a movie, whatever, they let them say it. They think it's cool. And then they get on my list as 100, and the white people that say it back get 100 too. But they get on my list as 100 because I'm like, you can't do that. Or you at least got to train the white folks. You got to like talk, hey, don't tell nobody this, you my nigga. But don't you fucking say it, and don't you tell nobody that I said that. But in private, yes. They don't even do that. They just have them out there saying it. Going on TikTok, telling everybody your business. So yeah, 100 for that black person. Disgusting. Oh, it's been an hour and a half. Well, you know what? We have a guest tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's show is at 5. We have Mike Lawrence, comedian, writer.
Fun.
It's been a while. Can't wait to catch up with him. One of my favorite people.
Yes. I know his baby done got big.
I know. He's a dad. Him and Adina, parents now. Full disclosure, he was gonna come on a tour, like doing stand up in July. He was gonna come here, but I think something happened and he ended up not coming. But we would have had him in the studio, which would have been nice because we had him in the studio a long time ago. When he performed at the Comedy Zone. Mm-hmm. So but we do have time for sword ratchetness. A sword-wielding assailant scalps a woman's head while she was in the park.
What you mean by scalps? Looks at it, hunts it down?
Scalps. S-C-A-L.
Oh, scalps. Goddamn, took the hair off.
Scalped it like it was some Beyonce tickets, Karen.
Woo, child.
Authorities in San Diego are searching for the sword-wielding assailant who they say attacked a woman at a park in City Heights neighborhood early Tuesday.
So he sliced it like a piece of cold cut? Goddamn.
I guess so. Woo, police said the woman was sitting on a bench at 1:30 a.m. at the park. She was stabbed and scalped by an unknown man with a sword. She managed to walk to a nearby Starbucks with 24-hour drive-through where people called 911. Her condition was not released by authorities. They rushed her to the hospital. Oh my God. How do you live after that? Woo. I oh my God. I have so many questions that I don't want the answers to.
Right.
So I'm not even going to answer them, but y'all thinking them.
I mean,
I said I'm not going to answer them.
Okay, sorry.
It's gross.
No problem. It's going to be wigs.
A wig is coming off. I don't know what you do with that.
Neither.
Obviously, seeing those kind of injuries, traumatic for the person receiving it, traumatic for the witnesses who are trying to help her, and for the first responders. They tend to injure people all the time. It's still unsettling to see, said Lieutenant Adam Sharkey. He said the woman provided a vague description of the suspect. The best description we have of the suspect at this point is a younger black male, 35-ish years old, tall, thin build, wearing blue jeans and waving some kind of sword.
Hope y'all get him scalping somebody.
Right. So yeah, they still looking for the suspect. So don't be at the.
Y'all be careful out here in the streets.
Yeah, definitely stay away from the park at 1:30 in the morning on the bench, because my guess is that might be a person that's like houseless or some shit.
Possibility.
You know, so that's already like, man, you gonna add this on top of my fucking day? You doing? All right, y'all. That's it. We'll be back with Mike Lawrence tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Peace.